and how to use it. As a young lady growing up, I always was trying different ways to straighten my hair. Since I am an African American, that task was not always an easy one. When I was 16, I decided that since I love to do hair so much, I would go to cosmetology school. I started at cosmetology school, I finished and became a hairdresser. Since Madam C.J. Walker popularized the hot comb in the early 1900s, the pressing of hair has become a part of American hair, African American hair culture. Hot combs are used predominantly by women and girls as a way to apply direct heat to straighten and smooth over curly hair. Although chemical relaxing has become popular alternative to the use of a hot comb, pressing is still the preferred alternative for younger children and women who are sensitive to chemical relaxing creams. To get the best results from pressing your hair, it is important to know how to use a hot comb properly and safely. Straightening the hair with a hot comb requires practice and knowledge of how the heat affects your particular hair type. Using a hot comb is not a permanent straightening option, but it does allow for additional hairstyles choices without using chemical relaxers. If you want to make straightening your hair easy, I suggest that you start by getting your hair as straight as possible, perhaps by using a blow dryer with a comb attachment and or a brush to comb out any tangles. If your hair is thick, you may want to use a wide comb, which will make your hair easier to straighten and untangle. This makes the process a little less difficult and it helps with time. There are different types of straightening combs, the kind that you can place on a stove and the electrical kind that you can plug into an outlet. Each type has its own advantage. The stove type. You have more control over the heat setting, allowing your comb to gradually cool down before you reheat it. This entails less heat strain on the hair, thus causing less damage to the hair. The electric type. Great if you don't have access to a stove. Fewer trips back and forth to the stove and the mirror, it's much quicker. Decide which type of straightening comb you think is best for you personally. Before you begin to straighten your hair, be sure to moisturize it with some type of oil or hair sheen that will help protect the hair from the intense heat. Also, section it off so that you can work through one area at a time as you gradually straighten. A great product that not only moisturizes the hair but also locks in the straightness is Let's Jam by Soft Sheen and Carson. For stove type straightening comb, place the metal part on the stove for roughly 5 minutes. Before you put it to your hair, try blowing away some of the steam and wipe it on a paper towel if needed. For the electrical type, simply plug it into an outlet, set the heat setting, and allow it to warm up. While standing in front of a mirror, pay close attention to your hair and slowly run the comb up and down through the hair. Think of it as a comb, only you want to avoid touching your scalp because it is very hot. Also, don't let the comb linger in one position like such for too long. You have to keep the motion going. Think of it as ironing clothes, because if you leave the iron standing still on your clothes for too long, you run the risk of burning your clothes. Same thing goes for your hair. Continue to run the comb slowly through the hair until it becomes less difficult to do so. After one section has been straightened, use a regular comb to comb it through and remove any tangles. If needed, apply the straightening comb again. You may notice your arms are getting tired, so you have the option of taking breaks in between pressing your hair. Repeat this process, going through each section of your hair slowly and making sure not to touch your scalp or skin with the comb. It can cause a serious burn. You would notice that your hair is becoming easier to comb through. This means that the straightening comb is working. After going through the process of straightening my own hair, I have decided to go a little further and interview someone. I not only interviewed Mrs. Estella Wade Edwards, director of the Dr. Martin Luther King Library, but she allowed me to straighten her hair. Mrs. Edwards' hair is very thick and unmanageable. After going through the steps listed above, Mrs. Edwards' hair was nice, very straight, and silky. I asked her if she liked the process of straightening with a hot comb, and she stated that she loved it and she wouldn't wear her hair any other way now that she has had the experience of someone straightening her hair the correct way. Now that I have explained the hot comb and how to use it, why don't you give it a try? Maybe you will be able to look in the mirror and your hair will be able to be long, straight, beautiful, and flowing. Goodbye.